Did somebody say WeeaBoots? Because I think I just heard someone say WeeaBoots. What's up, weebs? Welcome to WeeaBoots, the only contemporary anime review podcast from GigaBoots.com. I am joined by many co-hosts today. I'm joined by Bob.
That's pretty sus.
From GigaBoots. I'm joined by Dr. Aggro.
I'm not saying that.
KZ from KZExcellent.com.
Don't touch my nipples.
And Mr. Feel from Mr. Feel's Wild Ride.
Clearly you don't own an air fryer.
And that's right. Today, we are reviewing the Nagatoro anime. That's the name, right?
Totally.
Yeah, sure.
Do you have the Japanese title in front of you, Bob? We're gonna have this segment.
Let's see. I don't.
Ball.
Yeah, it's we have to shift into Mondo cool mode. Right. I'll send it to Feel so he can say it. You know?
Oh, there we go. That's way better.
Do.
Oh no. It's a general Feel. Oh God.
Yeah, this is way harder than most of the titles for Mondo Cool have been.
Ijiranaede Nagatoro-san.
Oh, okay. Or in English, don't toy with me, Miss Nagatoro. This is the anime adaptation of the manga, which apparently has 10 volumes. Real quick,
I own them.
Okay, I was gonna ask if anyone here was reading the manga.
Yep, it's one of the 455 series I keep up with.
Oh, that's good. Bob, do you keep up with this?
I read the first chapter or two, so I'm not keeping up with it, but I wanted to check it out. Didn't want to spoil the anime though.
Okay, Dr. Aggro?
I feel like I've had enough people use reaction faces from this at me on Twitter that it counts.
Okay, cool. I mostly keep mine to the Discord. KZ?
I think I saw a couple of the bits from the manga, but it's been a long time. But I got the concept just from that.
Yeah, I got the concept of the series pretty fast from people talking about it, but I have not watched the anime prior to now because it didn't exist, and I didn't read the manga. For this episode, we are recording it right after the third episode aired, so we watched the first 3 episodes. Before we get into it, as usual here on WeeaBoots, we're going to completely stupidly just talk about who made it. Bob, who made this?
This was done by Telecom Animation Film. They are known for a lot of the Lupin stuff. They've done a ton of it. They also worked production assistant on Conan. And yeah, those are the main things. There's a ton of other things. They've been around forever.
Yeah,
it's from Lupin.
I might guess that from that name.
Yes.
100 years.
Yeah. I forgot that they were making a Shenmue show for Toonami. Apparently they're doing that.
Oh my God. Holy shit. I forgot too.
Yeah, they announced that forever ago.
Yeah, didn't the guy who pushed through Fooly Cooly 2 and 3 do that? Wasn't that also his pet project? Or was that someone else?
No,
maybe.
It was only announced in September last year, so it's not something we've known about super long.
It's just, it has the same insane energy of, yeah, Shenmue show, I want this. I don't care if it's marketable. That's how it feels to me anyways. So yeah, we watched the first 3 episodes, 66 minutes of anime.
Ooh.
Has the Crunchyroll app always had the habit of, in the middle of an episode on PS5 or PS4, just shitting its pants?
No, I've been using the Verve app forever, so going to the Crunchyroll app and seeing it do that's been confusing.
Yeah, I had that happen once or twice per episode. It was real weird.
Yeah,
what's it doing?
It just shit its pants, missed an iframe, and then it had a bunch of B frames based on an iframe that was too long ago, so it started macro blocking and warping. Did this once or twice per episode. Real weird. Never had that.
Yeah, I've seen it do it. I haven't seen it do it that regularly.
Yeah, no, that was...
Crunchyroll is in the middle of trying to roll out a new version of the site that you can see in beta. So I imagine that maybe in the back end, they're fucking everything up.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Very possible. It's sad that Verve isn't on PS5. That app just seems to work better.
Yeah.
Yep.
They need to upgrade. They need to upgrade Crunchyroll from a site from 2005 to a site from 2010.
Let's fucking go.
But don't update it to a site from 2021. Just stop at 2010.
Or 2015, honestly. Nothing in that's the dead zone.
Yeah, that's when the mudslide of YouTube happened. But yeah, no, I Bob, correct me if I'm wrong. Did we not watch Azokin last year on the Verve app on Xbox?
I think we did.
Okay. Yeah, that did much better.
Yeah.
I want to use the Verve app. I guess I better buy an Apple TV.
It might have to do is why I'm doing that.
That is exactly why Bob's doing that. Which is
Let me look that up. I might buy one by the end of this podcast.
No, you can't actually. We're recording this before the new ones come out. If you bought it now, that would be insanely stupid.
Oh no!
Finally, delayed for another day. Anyways, I guess we're here to talk about and synopsize the series. Don't toy with me, Miss Nagatoro.
Oh boy!
I'm gonna leave this to Dr. Aggro. Dr. Aggro, start blasting.
Yes.
Don't Toy With Me, Miss Nagatoro is the story of mostly two teenagers who are incredibly emotionally damaged, not being able to process their feelings or desires in any normal or healthy capacity, becoming involved in a sick codependent relationship that is only going to end in tragedy and pain.
Oh no!
So they're teenagers.
These are pretty extra teenagers, if you ask me, but what do I know? Thank you, Dr. Aggro. Bob, what would you define the genre of anime as?
It's actually a pretty common genre now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it might be its own subset, because there's this and at least two other shows I've watched that are basically this. About
It's okay. You have subgenres, right?
I guess.
So you can start broad in that, but go ahead and describe the subgenre.
Do you just call it tsundere girl teases? I don't know. I guess that's about as broad as you can go, because there's such a narrow descriptor of what happens in these three shows.
Would you say this is a comedy slice of life, or would you say this is just a comedy? Just try to use typical genre terms.
Comedy slice of life sounds good. Let's see what Anime News Network says. Let's see.
It's like, okay, let me look at the is it shonen for boys or shoujo? This is not for humans. I don't.
they listed as comedy fan service tsundere.
Okay, there you go. You got your genre tags. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. KZ, give us a brief summary of episode 1. Super broad strokes, just generally, how do we set up this franchise? How do they bring about you being introduced to the world of Nagatoro-san?
God, you're cruel.
I'm just passing the bill to everyone.
Yeah, that's a pretty good summary, Feel. Good job.
Yeah, they do some shots of showing various parts of the town. Some nice art.
Mm-hmm.
You go to a school. There's a young man there in the library, and then there are girls there, and he's like, and then he keeps doing his thing, and then they're like, we have to go over here, which is right next to him. He's like, and then he drops his bag with his important cringe compilation, and it is picked up. And unfortunately, they all know how cringe he is, but one of them thinks the cringe is the funniest. And then he cries.
Yeah, pretty much.
And then she soaks up his tears with her little hand towel. It's,
yeah.
She's got a little kerchief.
She does the ultimate psycho girl thing of one eye is just completely cracked out.
Yes.
Which I was a big fan of.
I'm really like a much darker anime would have hard cut for her from her like wiping his tears to just him masturbating.
I gotta go.
Well, there you go. By that definition, Watamote is definitely not a darker anime. So there you go. Definitely not a sadistic. That's what I hear.
Is much darker.
No, it isn't.
Yes, it is.
No, it isn't.
With greater knowledge than Dan about both, yes, it is.
We're never watching that show, Dan.
Oh, they'll do a second season eventually.
God, I hope. It's a fucking
it's still running.
That's a fantastic show. That is art, is what that is. Anyway, let's talk about this though. So yeah, as KZ summarized, this Nagatoro person seems to really be into her senpai crying. Yeah, that's the whole show. So Bob, would you recommend? Yeah, so she constantly puts him in awkward situations and teases him and acts like she's into him just to pull back at the last second and laugh at him, and then makes him cry and then soaks it up with a handkerchief. And that's most of the entire first 3 episodes I've described. There isn't a whole huge amount of deviation in the first 2.
Yeah, I think that the making him cry thing only happens like the first 2 encounters or so, and it seems like it eases up a little bit after that.
Yeah. It seems like from that the author went, I need to dial this back a little bit.
Well, yeah, now that she has established total dominance, she doesn't have to go that hard every day.
Yeah, I guess it's like when you eat in front of the dog, so the dog learns the pecking order. It's like, no, you don't get to eat until I eat. You're the inferior animal.
Jesus Christ. But yeah, I wish I had a fantastic description of all the zany incidences that happened in these first 3 episodes, but 1 and 2 really, really blur together. But broad strokes, episode 2 starts to investigate him and his art that he does in a side room in the school. And she won't fucking leave him be in there. And yeah, we explore that more in episode 2. I think episode 3 is when it starts to pick up and become a show that I could recommend to any human. How do other people feel about it?
It does start like really cruel, and then it slows down.
I think episode 3 was the introduction of her Nagatoro's friends. Makes an interesting dynamic that's funny to watch play out.
It starts to be like an interaction between humans and not psychological torture in episode 3.
Yes.
For me, I just said, I like Watabote. I have the fucking Blu-ray. I would be there on day 1 to watch a new season. I have no problem with brutal art. But I think the interactions and the developments across the first 2 episodes aren't that interesting. And as, they're pointing out, with the introduction of Nagatoro's friends, we get new, interesting perspectives. And not only her friends, this may have been the tail end of 2 or the beginning of 3, I can't remember, but we also get Nagatoro eating with a friend of hers and some guys that are interested in Nagatoro. And even that gives it another layer. I was really genuinely worried the series was going to be the first 2 episodes, the same thing over and over for the whole thing.
I don't know. I was having a really great time with those where she just says the same thing over and over again, and then you just hear it in the background. I'm like, wow, they really nailed the type of person I want to eviscerate and will happily go to prison. And I'm like, this is wonderful.
Fuck them. I surround myself with people exactly like that.
I'm like, yes. I'm like, they fucking nailed it perfectly. This is great.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm missing some core appeal of the first 2 episodes. Maybe if I was hornier or a bottom, then, that would help me figure out the appeal. But
did you see the psycho faces she made? I think that's most of the selling point of the first 2 episodes.
Yeah.
All
definitely.
Right. All right, sure.
I guess it's because the only other bits I saw from the manga before going into this, like, a while back, were the ones where she accidentally owns herself multiple times, so I knew that was going to eventually happen.
Yeah, okay. As the series goes on, it becomes less cracked out faces and more her turning into a noodle, which I think she does once or twice in these.
Yes.
Yeah, those are
where
good
her arms are just the noodles.
Yeah, like there's some really good self-owns that will eventually pop up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like that power dynamic has to shift eventually, or it's all soon no dere.
That's true. That's true.
Which, like, I wanted to ask you, Phil, because like this anime so far, it's in stasis for me, depending on how it goes later. Like, do they get into her like trademark tragic backstory at all of what led her to become this way?
It's not really, but it gets dialed down so much as their relationship progresses that you almost kind of forget.
Because like watching this anime brought up a lot of like I used to know some people like this when I was their age,
Yes.
and that is not a healthy way for people to be. So I didn't know if this was going to take like a dark left turn into 3-episode arc trauma backstory land or not.
No, I don't.
There's no trauma. There's not big trauma. At least yet. They could always bring it up, but it seems more like, if anything, her other friends are just a bad influence.
Yeah, I was
and that
gonna
her parents need to step up and be like, stop fucking hanging out with them.
see, like in the first 3 episodes, I already get the impression that that's not the type of show this is. It doesn't give me that Watamote energy where it's just like, we're going to show you how cursed this being is. We're going to explain it. We're going to dismantle this human and just lay it all out. And then you're going to look at the screen and the TV show will turn off and it'll be a Black Mirror.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Nice.
Is that what it means?
I'm gonna have a panic attack.
Somebody described this to me as what I was already familiar with it because they were talking about the anime. It's like, this is a male fantasy because what most teenage boys just want is a girl to pay attention to them. And that's what it's in the first 2 episodes. I don't think that's really right because it's more vicious. But in the third one on, it kind of becomes that. Like
this boy, like the opening scene in the library where he just hears laughing teenage girls and he's like, oh god damn it. I remember that level of anxiety when I was in high school. There comes a point though where I stopped feeling bad for him because I'm like, dude, come the fuck on. Just hit her. Just hit her.
She's even literally asking for it. People are like, I can't believe Dan said that lady was asking to be hit. It's like, no, she literally did that. That was episode 3.
Yeah, that was literal.
And then I'm like, I know it's going to happen, and I'm going to laugh anyway.
Yeah, I think the funniest material in this is in episode 3. I think the most interesting materials in episode 3. I'm definitely sitting on the fence on this series because the funniest thing in episode 1 and 2 is the cat sticker transition where it goes, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought the eye catches in both episodes were pretty good.
They're neat. I like any anime that has a knockoff of Kai Kisuke in an episode. That's always good.
Yep. Yeah, Kai Kisuke versus Tao Kaka.
Yeah, the first thing I thought is, oh man, he deserves everything he gets. He plays fucking Kai Kisuke.
Hey,
That really explains so much about that character.
hey, Kai Kisuke is a very, very good character with some moves, and he might have a story, but I don't care.
Whatever, I respect you. You pay me.
His fucking belt said just.
Kai Kisuke is very cool. Let me show you my live, laugh, love belt buckle.
I'm gonna pass out.
That is oh fuck, what's his name? Soul Order Kai or whatever. God.
I tip policeman.
Holy shit. But yeah, one of the parts I appreciated, and I think this was the tail end of 2 or the opening of 3. It was that part where I started to be like, okay, I can watch this. Is when Nagatoro's on that weird date with 2 guys that she just made. It's like not an official date, just a casual like grabbing food with a friend sort of thing. She dismantles those 2 pretty quickly in a way that Senpai, as the series calls him, doesn't pick up on at all. Where one of them's just like, here's my music. Art is called art because you can't understand it, man. And I'm like, they're the real villains of this show.
Yeah, that is directly where it turns the corner to, oh, she's not just being cruel. She's being cruel because she doesn't have a healthy way to process her emotions.
Yes. Not only that, but watching her dismantle 2 pieces of garbage or 1 piece of garbage, because I can't even remember what the other one said. Oh, yeah, that's right. He fucking talked about whether or not he touched a boob because he went to an all boys middle school. And she just goes, that seems like a weird thing to tell someone on first meeting them.
I'm going to go to the bathroom now.
Yeah, I'm going to go cry in the bathroom.
Yeah, no, that was a marvelous moment, fantastic moment. One of the highlights of these episodes we got here. Because, yeah, as Agro said, you get to see that turn, that development, that realization that it's not she's that way to everyone. It's she has no way to process her feelings healthily in a healthy manner.
Without calling people sus and cringe.
No shit. I tried to just Google the title of this to make sure I didn't fuck it up mid-episode. I typed Nagatoro. First return on Google, Nagatoro sus.
Yeah, the brigade is up over this one.
See, here's where I draw the line, ladies and gentlemen. If there isn't a cringe reference to a controversy inserted into a fucking dub, that's the line. You can use slang all you want.
Yeah.
That's my
what she says. I'm pretty sure even the fan manga translations use sus.
No, that's impossible.
Among Us did not invent that word. People have been using it fucking forever.
Yeah.
People can't read.
I'm sorry that you were a victim of MK Ultra and seeing the term sus was your activation phrase.
I get wanting less of a localization and more of a transliteration in your subtitles. I understand that. I'm definitely that guy. I don't say it in public a lot because then it lumps me in with you fucking crybaby psychos.
Yeah, there sure are a lot of things that people avoid saying because they're worried about being grouped in with psychopaths.
Here's my line. If I look at it and say, that's not what it was, you put that in there, then you're wrong.
But even sometimes I'm okay with it, like a Dragon Ball Z film.
I mean, somebody needs to write for Dragon Ball Z films. The Japanese crew clearly didn't do it.
Fucking
You can do whatever. You can do whatever the fuck you want with a dub. So one of these psychos is not watching a dub.
Right. This is all sub at this point. Has anyone picked up like dub rights in the States? Is anyone gonna distribute this stateside?
We don't know yet. It's a little early. Let me see if it's Aniplex or who owns this.
Let me see.
Yeah, right now it looks like it's only licensed for internet streaming.
Yeah, there's not any license yet.
Yeah, nothing listed. Which I figured this would have been licensed before it aired.
Yeah, you'd think this would be one that Funimation just jumped on top of, but I guess not. I assume it'll happen pretty quickly. This says like an insane fan following for that manga.
Yes, that much is certain. Maybe, Bob. Maybe they're a little burned by jumping on series really fast.
Without doing any research.
Yeah.
Maybe they licensed a pornography series without realizing it because they didn't look into anything.
That's what I love about anime. Is this porn? I don't know. Give it another episode. We'll make sure.
Wait,
yeah.
Is this porn? I don't know. Buy the rights.
God, that one was extra screwed up.
Is this an adaptation of pornography? Is the entire conceit of this series that they go to whorehouses?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how they snuck that by because it also fooled Japanese companies.
Yeah.
Like several broadcasters in Japan had to cancel the airings of that show.
Oh, okay, so it wasn't just Funimation.
No, it wasn't just Funimation, but I feel like the tone over at Funimation is okay. Trust no one.
And plus, they're having to slow dubs down because of the pandemic.
Oh, okay. I think
they're finally getting it back up. It sounds like
all it required was making sure everyone has a $600 mic.
Yeah.
Accidentally not knowing what's in your show is the exact same thing that happened to 4Kids when they also picked up One Piece. Where they didn't actually look into it at all. They're like, we're going to pick up this and Shaman King. Oh, no.
It looks like a cartoon show. It'll be fine.
50%.
Replace all the knives with plungers.
Oh, my God.
More walkie-talkies.
What do you mean that one of the things that happens the most is people ventilate the main character and he bounces the bullets back because they're made of rubber? Oh God, there's 800 guns in the first episode. Turn them into water pistols.
I'm tired of drawing a lollipop over the cigarette.
We don't feel there's too much blood in this one arc. Just remove the arc. It doesn't seem important. What the fuck do you mean that's one of the most important arcs later on?
Oh my God.
I'm not sure how much else there is to talk about this series.
Yeah, it's a
Well, I mean, there were a couple things I wanted to point out.
Sure, yeah.
Like you said, Telecom made a bunch of the Lupin TV series
And Conan stuff, yeah.
in movies, yeah.
Oh. Yeah, okay. Like it kind of shows the wealth of experience because this is definitely an anime that it's a TV anime budget, so they really know. You can see where they put the money and where they took the money from to put the money there.
Yeah, that's fair. I think that's fair.
Because sometimes you get a lot of these direct manga adaptations where all of the money goes into like 4 or 5 very famous panels. We've got to get that shot perfect. The rest of it can hang.
Yeah, it feels like with Nagatoro, they are turning up the faucet, but also turning it back down to conserve. Man, meanwhile, some anime series, they put it on full blast and then no water comes out.
Oh no!
Yeah, I was impressed by the intro and outro because it seems like the intro, like that's all made of stuff that happens in the episodes, but do a lot of art over it.
Yes, a ton of effects work.
So you can tell that it's in some ways it's budget, but it still looks like really neat.
Yes, it looks striking.
I like that a lot.
It's a very clever trick.
Yes,
It's also a good song.
I appreciate that because I remember watching one of the recent One Piece openings where this is some good animation for the first minute, and then they cut to like Japanese border for the island that they're on, and inside it is just footage from the episode of
footage
the day.
from the episode.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh my
Holy
god!
shit.
At least put something over it.
One Piece is fucked up because it doesn't have endings anymore.
So it's a
So the
3-minute
opening-
long intro.
The opening is just 2.5 minutes long. So sometimes when it's not an important opening, it'll be like, and here's 1 minute of footage from episodes.
So yeah, I thought the style of this one was really nice, where it was attempting any level of artistry.
Yeah.
things get real messed up when you have to run a single show nonstop for a decade plus.
Yeah.
Yes.
God, 2 decades? I don't even know how long anymore.
Let me see when the One Piece anime started.
I'm sure it's nearly 2 decades. It's got to be something like 18 years.
First episode date, October 20th, 1999. So 22 years.
Yup.
Don't worry. Don't worry. They're only like 4 years away from being done, maybe.
Let's fucking go.
To anyone still not getting the idea behind the series, I'm just going to read an excerpt of the summary on Wikipedia for episode 3's beginning. This part of the episode is called Let's Play Again Senpai. Hayase pretends to strip, that's Nagatoro's name, by the way, pretends to strip in from Naoto, that's Senpai's name, by the way, revealing she is wearing a swimsuit as underwear, then teases him for believing she would strip naked. Walking home, they shelter from a rainstorm, and Hayase teases him over her shirt becoming see-through, believing she is still wearing her swimsuit. Naoto looks at her and sees her bra, flustering them both. There you go.
Yep.
They also dial that back as time goes on.
Yeah, this is a little hornier than I expected, honestly.
I had forgotten because it's like 90 chapters in now.
Yeah. Yeah, 10 fucking volumes.
And I'm willing to bet this even goes away by the end of this anime running.
Okay.
Like 2 or 3 more episodes.
Like Bob, I'm surprised at that because, like I said, I knew some people who were kind of like this girl in high school, and this is exactly as horny as I expected this anime to be.
Yes, it is definitely that. I didn't expect it on the way in, but once the character was established, I'm like, oh yeah, they're hitting that pitch perfect.
Yeah, it's still a couple tiers below. Like, okay, well, I guess I accidentally have to watch an ecchi for content.
Fuck. I guess my thing here is, as Agro's saying, they're nailing this character. This character is hitting exactly what they know. And same here, we're probably thinking of the same few people. But but for me, the reason this doesn't quite hit on the level of Watamote is that the character that's being studied here isn't that interesting when dismantled. This character's damage isn't deeply fascinating in an excruciating but artistic way. It's just incredibly horny. And I'm really glad episode 3 starts viewing it in different lights because holy shit.
Yeah, episode 3 it's a big turnaround. Like I wasn't gonna keep watching this show at the end of episode 1, and by the end of episode 3, it had turned pretty great.
Yeah, I'm gonna check out the rest of the series just because I feel like 3 is significantly better than the first 2.
Yeah, I think if we keep introducing more characters like this and building up the dynamics that way, it'll be a very fun show, honestly.
Yeah, the scene in the lunchroom is its peak. It's so good.
Yes.
And yeah, there's definitely hope because you even see the preview for the next episode just has multiple characters in it.
Yeah, they do round out the cast, and not just like on her side.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow, I honestly wasn't sure if they were going to give Senpai any friends.
He doesn't deserve them, honestly.
I'm trying to remember if they give him friends or if it's just like, you're in the art club. Here's people in the art club.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
He was
sounds-
the only one in the art club.
that sounds way more accurate. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's a shame that a 4th episode wasn't out by the time we did this, because I am interested in seeing how it changes and develops from there. But unfortunately, the schedule is the schedule. And we had our hand forced by a number of things happening.
Our desire to know what we were recording for the next several months.
Well, not only that, we actually got blindsided in May by 3 different things, I think. Jesus Christ. Anyway, I don't know. I'm going to keep watching this series. I'm not much of a keeping up with the series weekly sort of person. I much prefer to binge it. I'm curious what other people are going to do if they're going to keep watching it. We'll start with Bob.
Yeah, I'm going to keep watching it.
Okay. What did you think of the episodes overall?
I enjoyed them, especially 3, but there was even some of that starting in 2 of like, okay, this is kind of getting to be less vicious. Like I watched the first episode when it first aired, and I was like, oh, this is a little rough. And then I waited until we watched it together to catch up for this, and I was like, okay, all right, I see where this is going.
Gotcha. Okay. We'll go to KZ next. KZ, you going to keep watching this? What did you think of the episodes overall?
Sure, yeah, I'll keep watching this. Overall, I enjoyed it. I agree. The first episode, I was impressed at how it just kept going and going. That first scene, especially, is really intense. But overall, I enjoyed them and didn't really have too much of a problem where I needed episode 3 to save me or anything.
Okay. Mr. Feel, who's still reading the manga?
I'll probably, I don't know if I'll be able to keep it weekly, but since I'm bad at keeping up with things, but I'm sure I'll be like, okay, I'll watch the 3 episodes that are out now, and I'll watch the 2 episodes that are out now. So yes.
Okay. And Dr. Aggro?
Yeah, I'm probably going to keep up with it. There's a lot of great stuff out this season. And now that, God damn it, these first 3 episodes, man, this show's really funny. I hope it stops being the prelude to a brutal sex crime soon.
Oh, no. What do you mean that literally happened in one?
Did I find it?
I expected him to, like, us to hard cut to him tied up and naked in a equipment shed. Now, if you tell anyone I did this, I'll release the pictures.
If you
Let me see
spoiled
if
it for me.
let me see if that one's getting an anime soon.
Oh no!
And if it will show up on
If Funimation will pick it up on accident.
Yeah, they passed on this one though.
It hasn't been announced yet, but it's fairly popular, so I feel like it'll happen at some point.
I like this like fictional character I've manifested over at Funimation, who's like George Costanza. He's like, they got us again. How do we keep buying porn?
You could try looking into
you could
it
watch
first.
the whole show first.
Nah, don't have time.
Gotta go.
I'm glad to know Funimation's acquisitions department is run like our high school anime club faculty oversight.
Yes.
God, yeah, no, that's
your
true.
anime club had oversight?
They put the security officer in charge of watching the anime to decide whether or not we could watch it towards the end of our time in the anime club. And he would just find a thing in the intro and go, that's no good. You can't watch any of it. What a piece of shit.
I'm glad that we had no oversight whatsoever. On the other hand, I did get stabbed once in Anime Club, so maybe there should have been something.
Excuse me?
I don't know. You learned something that day.
that was when Cornbread Pocket stabbed me with an X-Acto knife.
I mean, that's
That's
kind of stabbed.
And he still does, and now he doesn't even remember doing it. I guess because I beat him up right afterwards.
You knocked it out of him.
And he was like, and later that day, I was like, I don't know why I did that. I thought you were someone else, and I don't even remember why I was going to stab them.
Are you sure you were in an anime club and not a gang?
That would be a pretty sad gang.
Yes, Anime Club is a pretty sad gang. What's your point?
Hashtag anime club gang.
The theme song for WeeaBoots is Android by Lukhash. You can find a link to go buy it on iTunes or Bandcamp in the description below. If you'd like to support podcasts like these, then consider becoming a podlord over on patreon.com/GBpodcasts.